This is iFIBER 1 News. Here are today's top stories.
A judge ruled Barry Lukaitis can face consecutive sentences for killing 2 students, a teacher, and holding a classroom hostage. Moses Lake police weren't too happy losing to the firefighters during last year's Battle of the Badge softball game. They made up for it on Thursday night at Larson Field. The annual Cowboy Breakfast returned Friday morning with food, fun, and the Pee Wee Stampede.
From the iFIBER 1 newsroom, this is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
A judge ruled Barry Lukaitis can face consecutive sentences for killing 2 students, a teacher, and holding a classroom hostage. Lukaitis was 14 in 1996 when he shot and killed 3 people at Frontier Middle School in Moses Lake. He was tried as an adult and convicted of 2 counts of aggravated murder in the first degree, murder in the second degree, assault in the first degree, 16 counts of kidnapping in the first degree, and assault in the second degree. Lukaitis was sentenced to mandatory life in prison without the possibility of parole. He was also sentenced to 209 additional years for the other count. The situation changed in 2012 when the U.S. Supreme Court ruled mandatory life sentences without the possibility of parole for children younger than 18 violates the 8th Amendment. The state legislature followed the decision with a change in the state law, allowing children convicted of aggravated murder in the first degree to be eligible for parole after 25 years. Defense attorney Brett Hill argued the 2 life sentences should happen at the same time, since it didn't make sense for Lukaitis to have to convince the Department of Corrections Review Board he could be released before he began serving the second sentence. The judge is allowing Hill to argue for why Lukaitis should receive a shorter sentence. A mental health expert will evaluate the defendant and is expected to testify at a mitigation hearing. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News. Moses Lake police weren't too happy losing to the firefighters during last year's Battle of the Badge softball game. They made up for it on Thursday night at Larson Field. The second annual Battle of the Badge, benefiting the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Columbia Basin, pits the Moses Lake Police Department versus the Moses Lake Fire Department. The police department racked up 25 hits to take home the title by a score of 17-9. Detective Kyle McCain was named MVP for the department. For the fire department, Troy Hesse took home the award. Moses Lake Police Chief Kevin Fuhrer said he enjoyed playing against the firefighters in his first Battle of the Badge game.
This was awesome. It was great playing with the fire department and the bantering back and forth, but all for a good cause.
In his short time as chief in Moses Lake, Fuhrer praised the Moses Lake community for the support they've shown for first responders, not only at the softball game.
The Moses Lake community has been just outstanding with the police department, well, and all first responders for that matter. With our Blue Light program, they came out in droves and we're very appreciative of what we do. It's an outstanding community, the support that we get.
What was it like playing in this? Kids in attendance were treated to some in-between inning activities and outside the stadium, got a chance to explore fire trucks and the new Tactical Response Team's armored vehicle. Funds raised during the Battle of the Badge go to the Boys and Girls Club, which offers after-school and summer programs for hundreds of kids. The Boys and Girls Club is funded by donations, special events like the softball game, and grants. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News. The annual Cowboy Breakfast returned Friday morning with food, fun, and the Pee Wee Stampede. The breakfast, supporting the Kiwanis Club of Moses Lake, is the traditional kickoff for the Grant County Fair, which returns on Tuesday. A couple hundred people turned out on Friday morning, not only for breakfast, but to watch performances from the Rockin' Bee Cloggers, Dance FX, and the Pee Wee Stampede, featuring a stick horse bucking bronco and roping contest, along with the Little Miss Moses Lake Roundup competition. 5-year-old Rossi Ramey took home the crown of Little Miss Moses Lake Roundup. Proceeds from the breakfast help support Kiwanis Club projects, including sponsoring a number of clubs and programs in the Moses Lake School District. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
This is iFIBER One News. For more information on these stories and other news, visit us online at ifiber1.com or check us out on Facebook.